Ladies and gentlemen, by complete and total popular demand, we are here. It's Thursday, March the 4th, 2010. This is your Captain Ron Johnson. This is a special edition of The Last Call. And why is this a special edition? Because we're going to talk about one thing and one thing only. CHL hockey. The postseason is about to hit its biggest stretch possibly in the history of its entire league. With the divisions pretty much gone, kaput. It's now down to the conferences. Conference this, conference that. Northern and Southern Conference. No longer about whether you've won this division or that division. The playoff format pretty much has not changed. It's changed from last season. It still comes down to the point where it's 10 teams out of 15, so to speak, with 5 teams from each conference, and of course the 4th and 5th teams duking it out for the right to go up against, yes, that's right, you guessed it, one of the top 2 teams in their respective conferences. Now, after last night's anarchy, it is clear to say that we are going to have ourselves a lot of fun coming up in the next couple of weeks, especially with the final playoff push coming up. Now, as it stands right now, I would say that, but after last night, pretty good. We had 4 games going on last night, with Tulsa getting the best of Mississippi 6-3, which basically sits here and puts Mississippi in a very bad predicament as far as their playoff seeding goes. We have Rapid City continuing their dominance over pretty much everybody with a 6-4 win over the mediocre, well, not mediocre, beyond mediocre Wichita Thunder 6-4. Arizona got the best of Amarillo 5-2. Neither one of those teams are not in the playoff hunt right now, but that doesn't mean they're not going to go out without a bang. Especially Arizona. They're notorious for that. And our final game of last night, and it's a big one because it basically matters about points. Colorado, that's right, your Colorado Eagles, 6-3 winners over the top dogs in the Southern Conference, Odessa Jacks. What does this all mean exactly? Well, take a look at the standings. The standings basically sits here and tells you everything. And when I say everything, right now at this point, those standings are going to tell you everything you need to know in regards to the playoff seedings, the postseason, and with pretty much 2 teams from each conference already pretty much locks for postseason fever. Take a look at what we've got here heading into tonight. In the Northern Conference, it will be Rapid City, Colorado, Bossier-Shreveport, Mississippi, and Missouri. Rapid City leads the charge with 83 points. Colorado is right behind them with 77. Bossier-Shreveport with 70. Mississippi with 61. And Missouri with 60. Now, as far as the bottom 2 goes, that should change dramatically heading into the next 4 days of competition, especially with Mississippi and Missouri both locking horns with each other on March the 7th. That is a Sunday. It should be a good game, and no question, by the time that game is over, one of those teams should have a definite fit in regards to the 4th and 5th spots in the Northern Conference as far as the playoff hunt goes. Switching gears and going to the Southern Conference now. Odessa leads the charge with 84 points. Allen with 78. Laredo is right behind them with 63, but also the defending President's Cup champion Texas Brahmas also in that hunt with 63 points, and Corpus Christi rounding out the top 5 with 57 points. Now, as I said, these standings pretty much mean nothing right now, but for some teams, it means everything. Case in point, Missouri and Mississippi, 4 and 5 in the Northern Conference, both know that they have to win big in the next couple of days to sit here and ensure that they are going to have a shot at keeping their spots. We already know that basically Mississippi and Missouri are pretty much 1 points between each other, separates these 2 teams as far as the 4th and 5th spots, which is everything in the postseason, and it also is nothing in the postseason. But the team that basically wants to sit here and raise their standings is obviously President's Cup champion Texas. Texas basically feels like that they did something big last year by defeating Colorado in the President's Cup final, but now they're sitting here under an expansion team such as the Allen Americans, and knowing full well that only 3 points separates them from the other expansion team, Missouri, they don't want to sit here and go into the postseason with that mentality. And Texas will get that chance tonight when they play Corpus Christi while Allen will be traveling to Laredo to take on the Bucks, the other team. And basically, these are tiebreaker games tonight goes. Laredo and Texas are both tied at 63 points in the Southern Conference, third and fourth as far as the playoff seedings go. So we all know that the seedings are going to mean a lot when you're sitting here and you're trying to make a push for that President's Cup. Now, that being said, and that being considered, next 4 days are going to be huge. At the end of the broadcast today, we have basically the upcoming schedule as far as basically the next couple of days in the CHL goes. We will be making this a weekly thing, which basically means is that every single Wednesday and or Thursday we'll be coming up with these updates as far as the seedings, the net seedings, the upcoming schedule, and the games from the nights before. All that being said, expect fireworks, as basically it starts out with basically the battle for the third and fourth spot, the tiebreakers between Laredo and Texas, as far as Allen trying to make that one big push to the top spot, and culminates with Mississippi and Missouri locking horns in my backyard of the Show Me State for that fourth and fifth seeding. Now, with the postseason pretty much on the horizon at the end of March, are you ready? I sure hope so, because the last call is ready. We're going to be delivering some huge stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks, and we will see you guys this weekend for the Pro Wrestling Rewind, and this Sunday for an all edition of the Last Call and a recap of everything. Till then, this is your captain, Ron Johnson. This has been the Last Call. We'll see you guys on Saturday.
Just in time.